Hey there, Hastings. Welcome to today's Explainer, brought to you by HastingsNow.com. We put together a gorgeous, factual, and really focused look at everything you need for your daily planning this Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. Oh, and stick around because we're also taking a fascinating look back at what happened on this exact date in history. Let's dive right in.
Right out of the gate, today is going to feel unmistakably like midsummer here in Hastings. We're talking high temperatures climbing to a sweltering 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be hot, and it's going to be mostly sunny out there.
But contrast all that intense heat with our actual rain risk. We're looking at a very low, just 20% chance of afternoon showers or thunderstorms, specifically after 3 p.m. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means 80% of the time we're staying completely dry. While the quick passing storm isn't entirely off the table, most of Hastings is going to totally dodge the raindrops today.
Now, what's really interesting about the atmosphere today is the timing. Before we even get to any of those afternoon storm risks, expect some patchy smoke to roll through midday. Specifically, right between about 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., you might actually notice a hazier look to the sky. You'll definitely spot this if you're hanging around downtown Hastings, down by the Mississippi River, or looking out toward the bridge.
The good news, though, any of that small rain chance and that midday haze totally fades by early evening. That leaves us with mostly clear skies and a really calm south-southwest breeze, just sitting right around 5 miles per hour. Plus, we'll get a much more comfortable overnight low near 68 degrees to finally give us some nighttime relief. So, absolutely crucial point here, how do you prep for this? When you're planning your day, for sure choose breathable, lightweight clothing. You're also going to want to bring plenty of water to handle that hot 90-degree afternoon. That goes double if you're working outside, playing sports, running errands, or, deciding to take a long walk by the river.
And for those of you with specific health considerations, this timing is key. If you're sensitive to smoke in the air, you will definitely want to plan your longest outdoor activities for the much clearer morning hours. Just try to avoid that 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. window when the air might be a bit more irritating.
Finally, keep those late afternoon plans just a little bit flexible. Most of your plans should remain entirely workable, but, you'll want to have a backup idea in your back pocket just in case one of those isolated summer thunderstorms pops up on the radar after 3 p.m.
All right, before we step back in time for our history segment, let's take a quick break for our local weather joke of the day. You ready? Why did the Hastings Bridge pack sunglasses and an umbrella on Wednesday?
Because it heard the forecast was serving 90 degrees with a 20% chance of changing its mind.
Section 1. On this date, July 29, a little time capsule. Let's transition from today's local forecast to look at what monumental events happened on this exact date in history. Our timeline today takes us through 3 incredibly defining eras. We're going to start in the 1930s with a major local movement, then move to the global stage in 1948, and finish up with a giant leap for science in 1958. Starting right here in our home state. On July 29, 1932, during the deeply difficult days of the Great Depression, a man named John H. Bosch founded a Minnesota branch of the Farmers Holiday Association.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the power of community action. This was a powerful grassroots movement with a 3-step approach. First, it encouraged farmers to withhold their crops and livestock from markets, just really hoping to improve those deeply depressed prices. Second, Minnesota members organized heavily against farm foreclosures to protect their livelihoods. And third, the whole thing culminated in a massive 20,000-person march right at the state capitol. That is huge.
Shifting over to the global stage, fast forward to July 29, 1948. On this day, the Olympic Games officially opened at Wembley Stadium in London.
What's really fascinating about these games is their nickname, the Austerity Games. After cancellations in 1940 and 1944 because of World War II, these were the very first Summer Olympics held in 12 long years. They were called the Austerity Games because post-war London relied heavily on existing venues and really minimal new infrastructure. The whole priority was just simply reuniting international athletes so they could gather and compete once again. Finally, moving ahead exactly 1 decade to July 29, 1958, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the National Aeronautics and Space Act into law. This vital piece of legislation is what officially created NASA. This new civilian organization was established right in the middle of the accelerating space race, directly following the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik. NASA officially opened for business on October 1st of that year, which launched a brand new chapter in American science, aviation, and of course, space exploration.
It's truly fascinating to compare these moments, isn't it? On one hand, we have the local, community-driven survival efforts of Minnesota farmers fighting for their farms in 1932. And then, sitting directly alongside that, we have the massive federal ambition of launching NASA in 1958. It just really shows the incredible range of human ambition and problem-solving happening on the exact same calendar date decades apart.
Section 2. Check the radar. Ready for July 29th? As we wrap up today's explainer, please remember that summer weather can change quickly. Before you step out for those late afternoon Hastings plans, just make sure to check official alerts and the radar to stay ahead of that 20% storm chance.
So, knowing that past July 29ths have seen everything from massive state capitol marches to the literal dawn of American space exploration, I'll leave you with this question. What kind of history will you make in Hastings this Wednesday? Stay cool, stay hydrated, and have an absolutely wonderful day.